Anton versus Brian. Kyurem versus Giratina. I wonder if Brian has the Temple of Sinnoh or not. Nothing too critical in either player's product. I guess the wash energy is pretty annoying. Yeah, not having access to the wash energy more aggressively is going to be pretty annoying. But won't be the end of the world. Start bucket. Apparently has 2 cards already in their loss zone somehow, which is interesting. Is beef sauce like a thing that I should have had in my life before? I've never heard of beef sauce before. This feels like a D's nuts joke that you're trying to set me up for. No, that is correct, TV. All right, random phone coming in. No idea what they're picking. It would be nice if they expanded the camera a little bit out to the sides a little bit more so we could see a little bit more of the player's hands when they're making actions. So maybe just make the gameplay, like, shrink the gameplay in a little bit so we see more. So it'd be a little bit smaller, but we'd be able to see more plays like when they use the random phones. Because they don't always have the hand cam person around, so. All right. Looks like an okay start here from Brian. Has a Battle VIP pass, has a quick ball. Looking for a turn 1 cram hit for sure, but also wants to establish a Giratina if possible. Eyeing up Comfy and Greninja, and if they need to, they'll probably quick ball for the Luminium, but it's definitely not the first thing you want to do. You want to try and draw some cards before that, and then see if those cards get you what you need. All right, draw with Ninja. Concealed cards. Another VIP pass, so we'll be seeing a Tina for sure, and then probably the Cram. Unless Brian only plays 1 Cram, in which case it is prized. Nope, second Cram. And probably... Yep, Tina. Sounds good. No Guru yet. It is in the deck, though. Could quick ball for Colress here. And it looks like that's what they are going to do. Getting rid of a Snorlax. Quick ball with a Snorlax. It looks like they are going to go get Luminion for Colress. Instead of using Comfy first to potentially draw into the Colress off the Comfy, which I think I would probably have done. I don't actually know if it's correct. Just like having Luminion in play is just like not great. So you want to avoid it whenever you can. But yeah, you want to avoid it whenever you can, but... Ooh, double boss. Ooh, that is a really bad Colress. No switch cards and double boss. That's a really bad Colress. Ditches the Sableye. And a boss, I believe. I couldn't actually tell there. Comfy number 1. Hey, 2 energy. Not much of a choice there, but I think it's going to be a pass after that. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think there's much else happening in the hand. Oh, no, they do have a switch. Okay. And they could actually retreat here. They could retreat from here and actually attack with Cram, which I think you do want to start putting on the pressure with Cram here as Brian. So I think that's what we're going to see. Yep, attached to the Comfy, retreat, Cram for 110. All right, Greninja top deck there, and draw 2. So not a super explosive start or follow, what it seems like. From Antoine. We'll see, though. if they can actually get off an attack this turn. All right, there's the Melanie, so it's looking more likely now. They do need to find the evolution and another energy, but they can put those two together. They will attack, but to be honest, attacking with a Kyurem into this board state of Brian does not seem great. I mean, it's probably better than not attacking. I guess you don't have to evolve to the VMAX. There it is, though, so it's happening. But if Brian can get to 7 in the Lost Zone, they will be able to 1-hit KO this Kyurem on the next turn. Or could 1-hit KO on the Kyurem on the last turn. They would need a little bit more than just 7 in the Lost Zone, but... there it is. Kyurem's gone. And they only have 1 attacking threat set up right now as well. All right, massive hand from Brian. Lots of options. Do they have the Colress is the big question here to start off with. They don't need it, but it would make things a lot easier, I'm sure. Greninja first. Colress. There it is. Now comes Colress. A net is good. Quick Ball and Battle VIP Boss. Probably the 2 to bite the dust. I could see them taking the Quick Ball, though, if they really want to value getting a basic, but nope, those bite the dust. So now I think they have the V-Star in hand, so they just need a Mirage. They have a Mirage Gate in hand, actually. Air Balloon's pretty good here. That leads to more comfy uses. They have double Mirage Gate in hand, actually. Yeah, you probably don't need that Mirage Gate. You can give up on that one. Thinking it through one more time. Yeah, double Mirage Gate, just confirming. I was still tempted to maybe take it, it looks like. Nope, ends up with the Air Balloon. Makes sense to me. I don't think you need more than 2 Mirage Gate, especially when you're going to get to 7 this turn. Or are maybe already at 7, to be honest. Yep, here comes Mirage Gate. Eyeing up a Psychic and a Water. I feel like I've never seen a Tina actually... is it even worth it to play the Water energy? I've never seen a Giratina deck use Greninja. How many people in chat have actually used Greninja with Giratina? Enough to the point where you actually think it's worth it. Like, I've never seen a Giratina attack with Greninja. I've thought about it. I've seen board stages where it's like, oh, that could be cool. Oh, and Brian already has everything, actually. There's the knockout. And that's going to put, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I would concede here as Antoine, but I would consider it for sure. Because you have no response to this initial hit. You're in a really bad spot. There we go. Yeah, really, really bad spot here. Because you just have no follow. If you had a follow-up attack here, you'd be okay. You'd be in like a fine spot, but... forcing your opponent to play around the ninja is enough, I guess. But at some point, people might just catch on and be like, wait, you actually can't attack with that thing. Go ahead, you can try. Yeah, I mean, obviously in this matchup, it's going to be less good than most matchups. But yeah, I've just never seen it happen. So I'm just curious if it's ever happened. All right, Palkia is in play. There's Luminion. Oh, an aggressive. Okay, aggressive Roxanne could be the thing they need to kind of reset this game. Giratina in the active versus an aggressive Roxanne actually seems pretty good, to be honest. Still has a ton of cards in hand. Probably don't want to put the training court in play, though, because that would give a lot of options to Brian. Brian could even go with like a knockout. Even just knocking out Greninja with, what's it called, potentially wouldn't be terrible. The Star Requiem. There's a retrieval or 2. Using Greninja, I don't like using Greninja before you play the Roxanne, though. That's like such a weird sequence there from Antoine. Like, why would you do the retrieval before you play the Roxanne when you could have the Greninja draw you into the Roxanne and not even put Luminion in play to begin with? Unless for some reason you wouldn't want a Roxanne. But I think you definitely want a Roxanne here. I like the Roxanne here. But I don't like the sequence in which the Roxanne was played. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think. I would like to have seen it be done a little bit differently. All right, Roxanne's going down. Antoine needs Brian. I mean, yeah, if Brian draws like a Colress here, we're probably going to be in trouble. But there is like, yeah, Giratina being in the active, there's a lot of actually opportunity for Antoine to make a comeback. Pretty good draw, too. Got a Kyurem. Rotom Phone as well. Not going to use it, just going to pass. Let's see how Brian draws. There's a boss and a grass energy. And there's 10 in the law. No, there's 9 in the Lost Zone. There's actually not 10 in the Lost Zone. Well, on screen it says 9. Is it actually 9? Ooh, escape rope draw is pretty good, though. That's going to get to 10 in the lost zone. And if they can find a grass energy, that would lead to them being able to actually KO the Kyurem. Ooh, they must have a net in hand as well, because they went into the one without the air balloon. The vacuum takes the capture. Yep, there's the net. Another Comfy. Net and Goon. Goon is not great in this matchup, I don't think, so the net definitely seems like the better choice. Quite a few in the lost zone now. Definitely enough to do whatever they want with any of the lost zone cards. Another Comfy. Here we go again. There's the grass. Oh my gosh. There's also a training court, though. I think the training court's a little bit better. I don't think you mind if Antoine has training court. I think it's more valuable for you for it to stick around. So I definitely like the training court grab. Trading court, grab the grass. Has the net in hand. Can net reset. That's actually such an absurd draw from Brian here. and then I think that's the last boss in the deck. Knocks out the Kyurem. Sheesh. That definitely puts Antoine in a spot for sure. Oh, and actually just scoops the game too. Huh. Yeah, I guess if you don't have a stadium bump, you know they always have the energy to attack with Giratina. Nothing you can really do. Maybe could have like boss stalled something, but even that seems pretty unlikely. Well, yeah, pretty unlikely to actually have an effect. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to go Brian's way. I don't mind the concede there at all, I don't think. Save time. Your goal is to definitely finish this match as well. This is the winning in at 5-2-1. So if you tie here, no one's going to day 2. So I'm sure both players would like it if the match finishes, ideally in their favor, of course, but yeah, don't want to waste time on a lost cause. All right, here we go. Game 2. I assume Antoine will be choosing to go first. Oh, does Kyurem ever choose to go second? I don't think so. And Brian had a pretty ridiculous start in game 1. Pretty ridiculous draw off the Roxanne. Let's see if they can keep it up. Or if Antoine can maybe pull ahead here in this one a little bit. Double Comfy prize. Not great, but actually not a huge deal if you can find the other two. Just makes it harder to find them. On Antoine's side, nothing too bad in the prize cards either. The Wash Energy, once again, one of the Wash Energies is prize, which is not great, but yeah, you don't love to see the Wash Energy prize. Opens up the Battle VIP pass. Can't complain there. Greninja's also not prize, which is a big deal. So, oh, also, it looks like Antoine actually plays Empoleon. So if they could get Empoleon into the active here on the first turn and then have a decent follow-up, using Empoleon early in this matchup is actually really, really good. And they do prioritize the Empoleon here. Yeah, Empoleon's actually really, really good to get out in the early, but only if you're like going to follow up with an actual attack. If you're just going to put Empoleon in the active for 3 turns before you attack with it because you manually attach to it 3 times, that's not great. But if you can actually like turn 2 Palkia to it or something, then you put yourself in a pretty good spot. So one last look through. And all right. Yeah, I'm not sure what, I already forget what Antoine opened. I think it was Palkia though, right? I think Antoine opened the Palkia. And yeah, that hand is pretty good. Does not have actually a way to get the Empoleon into the active, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a Palkia start. Yeah, so no way to actually get the Empoleon into the active, unfortunately. But Brian's hand is super awkward. So it might not matter too much, to be honest. We could be going to game number 3 here shortly. Double Kyurem down as well. So a lot of options for Antoine the next term. Looking pretty good. Top deck Sableye. I definitely like Quick Ball. Yeah, Sableye's doesn't seem that great in this matchup. You can always recover it later with an Ordinary Rod if you really need it. Probably gonna go for the Luminion to get a Colress. Want to see as many cards as possible off this quick ball. Could go for the Greninja to avoid putting Luminion in play, but it's a little bit riskier. Doesn't seem worth the risk. Could definitely still see Brian get off a turn 1 attack here. But because the active is Palkia, turn 1 attack isn't that relevant because you already one-hit KO Palkia anyways with the Giratina. So getting the turn 1 knockout here on this Palkia is not super relevant, to be honest, like at all. Yeah, settles for the Chorus, and yeah, like I said, could definitely get off the turn 1 attack still with the Cram but it's not that big of a deal. Just want to start building up the Lost Zone. From here for Brian. Wow. That is awful. So, my goodness. I mean, the question for Brian becomes now, when do you concede, to be honest? It is possible for Brian to win this still, of course. But yeah, the question definitely becomes, all right, when do I concede now? After Brian like sees that draw, you're like, all right, when do I concede? When am I throwing in the towel? Loading up the Lumi. Actually, even plays the training court. Oh, okay. Oh, so is going to actually be able to hit here. That's cute. There's the Cram hit. Or, and when you have not much else to work with, you know, building up to it, that's actually, you know, better than nothing for sure here from Brian. Yeah, but I think the question, yeah, like I said, the question becomes, when do you concede? I mean, maybe give it one more top deck. But then from there, maybe throw it in from there. Maybe you're throwing in the towel, going to game 3, making sure you have plenty of time for game 3. Attach active. I think Antoine does have a Melanie in hand, if I'm not mistaken, from last turn. I'm curious to see them not play that first. But they're like thinking through a bunch of other stuff here. They actually Ultra Ball away the Melanie and the Roxanne. What are they going for here? I'm actually going for Crobat. Why are they being so aggressive? I'm super confused. I'm very interested to see what they end up doing. Maybe they're going to attack with Empoleon here? Bossing the Luminion. Crobat for 6. So super aggressive here. But I feel, what is the point of being this aggressive? I guess you get to knock out the Luminion here? But why do you need to knock out Luminion right now? I'm not a fan of this play at all from Antoine. I actually maybe would have liked to have seen Antoine attack with Empoleon this turn, actually. And then go into Kyurem after that, maybe. I feel like this is just, like, super unnecessary. It also burns your Palkia's V-Star power. Oh, no, wait. You don't need to go into the Kyurem. You have the KO on the... Kyurem. Okay. My bad. I thought it wasn't KOing yet. But it is KOing. All right, Greninja from Brian. But I still don't like that play in general. I still don't like... well, okay, I guess I get it. I just don't think you have to KO Lumini in that turn. I think you just, like, KO the Cramorant, deal with that. Luminion's always there as, like, 2 free prize cards later on, most likely. I guess you could be afraid of it going back to the deck at some point, but I think you just play that slower as Brian. Yeah, I would have played it slower. I like playing it slower there. Just KO the active and just kind of chill. Hold your resources, hold your options for future plays. Brian does have a boss, though, so we could see the boss on the Kyurem here. Try and trap it in the active, build up some damage on it. I think, I mean... it's like really the only play to make. I was gonna say I like the play, but it's really the only play for Brian to make here, to be honest. Like there's not really another play. Can Antoine move the Kyurem is the question. There's an Irida, so I'd assume yes. Yeah, I'm gonna assume the answer here is yes. The Kyurem can move or attack, one of the two. There's the rope. We definitely want to... I like the rope too, though, here. Because, yeah, KO the Greninja. That's, like, the draw power here from Brian. Another 110 from Cram. I think you can survive that for sure. I like this for sure. KO at any time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is you can KO Luminion pretty much any time. So I don't know. Stressing out KOing it now. I don't know if it's definitely incorrect, but it definitely doesn't feel necessary. So conserve the boss, save that boss for like a bigger play in the future potentially. Like to like chase a Giratina for before it evolves or something feels like a little bit more powerful. All right. There's the escape rope. There's the Greninja send up. Has to be the Greninja send up. Ooh, and we go with the Empoleon here from... Yeah, I like the Empoleon now. I think it's pretty good. As long as there's enough energy in the discard pile, which it looks like there will be here from Antoine. Quick ball happening. Gonna put another one in the discard pile. So there's at least 2 water in the discard pile. I assume there's one in hand. Or there's 3 in the discard pile here for Antoine. Because they haven't attached return yet. Attack with the Empoleon. And then we'd like to see one of those energies make its way back to one of the Kyurems. Probably get a Kyurem as close as possible to being able to attack. Okay, we got 3 of them. See where they end up. Could put them all in the Empoleon. That seems fine, to be honest, as well. Because the Empoleon's probably not going down next turn. It actually might be impossible for it to go down next turn. It doesn't evolve the other Kyurem. There's the knockout. It's going to move back to a Kyurem for sure, but should it go to the Fresh V or the Damage V Max? Goes to the Fresh V. And there's the concede. Okay. I like that as well from Brian. Maybe you could have stuck it out for another couple turns, but you are trying to have a winner here, so you may as well give yourself the most amount of time. You never know when like a game is randomly going to go. Like even in this matchup is probably not a super long. The average game time in this matchup is not super long, but you still never know when one game is going to go like 30, 40 minutes, right? You may as well give yourself the most amount of time possible. Unlikely to go that long for sure, but better safe than sorry. All right, here we go. I assume Brian will be going first in this one. Yep, but it looks like they opened Luminion, actually. Ooh. What? Also opened a Battle VIP pass, so some good, some bad. Greninja's not prized. Oh, but Greninja is prized for Antoine. That's going to be rough. Greninja is just like a super powerful card for both decks, so... Ooh, I was looking at Giratina over. That's interesting. Giratina over a Comfey. I wonder how many if there's a bunch of Comfey in hand here for Brian then, or at least one, I would assume. Yeah, not getting double Comfey to begin with that would be an interesting choice here from Brian. Ninja does go for the Giratina. Curious. Maybe there's another Battle VIP pass in the hand. Seems weird to not play it right now though. And Brian shuffling up like that's it for the search. There's a capture. Okay, there is a capture, and there is a quick ball. So they probably want to put the capture on the Giratina, which then gets the Comfey, and then they can escape open to the Comfey, and then maybe quick ball for another Comfey and go from there. Okay, that makes sense. You don't really want to put the capture. Oh, you could put the capture on the active to retreat into a Comfey. Maybe because you have the quick ball, it still always makes sense to get a Comfey there over the Tina. I don't know. That's interesting. Now goes ahead and grabs the Comfey, though. So we're going to see the retreat into the Comfey. Yeah, holds the escape rope, which I guess makes more sense anyways, because you want to use as many Comfeys as possible, and you have the escape rope, so. Oof. Net or Battle VIP pass. That's a tough choice there. You have a quick ball in hand. You might want to use that later. I think I like the net more, though, to be honest. I think it's a pretty close call. I think I like the net more, though. Quick ball away Snorlax, get a Comfey, net Comfey, escape rope Comfey. Goes for the Battle VIP pass, though. So Comfey and I would assume second Giratina here. We'll see what they end up going with. Oh, that's Cram. You could still attack with Cram this turn. Wait, no. Whose turn is it? Who went first? Brian's going first. Still goes for the Cram, though. Still goes for the Cram. Interesting. Okay. I would assume maybe you'd want to be more aggressive and just go into Tina's from here, but still settles for the Cram grab. Wait, am I correct on that? Who won the last game? Oh, Brian's going first here, yeah. Shouldn't be a tough one. Cram to the Lost Zone, I think, here for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that Cram grab at all then if Brian's going first. It's not terrible, but I feel like it's not that great. I feel it's okay feels pretty mid. Training Court to get an energy back out of the discard pile. Get that into the hand. May as well have it for later. Because depends, use it next turn as well. And there's the pass over Antoine, who once again, like I mentioned, unfortunately did prize the Greninja, which is a big part of both players. Like, it just kind of is like both of these decks, a big part of both these decks kind of like draw engines. Those few extra cards every turn or every other turn is a pretty big deal, pretty big impact on your overall just choices and decisions turn to turn. So not having those extra cards to work with is make things pretty tough. We'll probably see an Irida start here. There it is. Probably see a VIP pass. And yeah, because the Greninja is prized, I'm not going to have as explosive of a turn one here from Antoine. A VIP pass. And yeah, I'm curious to see what the other Pokemon is. Could be a basic, but you could also just get one of your evolutions to start setting up for the next turn. Of course, you're not really too afraid of being Marnie. I don't even know if Brian plays Marnie. I think we saw the Roxanne, but I think we know they play the Roxanne because pretty much everyone plays Roxanne. You can almost always expect the Roxanne from the Tina deck, but Marnie is iffy. Favorite Dragon Shield color? I don't think I really have one. I never like even when I have like a kind of sleeve or a sleeve that I like to use a lot for a time. Eventually, I like to switch it up. So I don't really have a favorite. Okay, aggressive with the Empoleon here from Antoine. Switching it up with this Irida. Looks like they were thinking about going with the VIP pass and considered Bucket even for a second there. Settles on Empoleon Air Balloon so they can retreat the Palkia into the Empoleon. Oh, they don't have a Bucket in hand, so they're chilling. But will they actually be able to attack with this Empoleon on the next turn is the question. Giddy Empoleon's great, but if you're not attacking with it and you're just sitting there, not doing a hold on usually. And actually, Brian kept the escape rope, didn't they? Oh, did they actually? Did they burn escape rope or keep it? I think they kept it, which makes sense because Empoleon's in Antoine's deck. So you definitely want to keep that around as like an answer to that. You don't have a ton of answers to Empoleon. You can escape rope around it, KO it, or boss around it. There we go. Attach to Empoleon, Air Balloon, retreat, and okay, not done yet. Kyurem. Pass. All right, let's see what Brian's got. Epic Tina. Yep, kept the escape rope around. Smart play. Ninja to start with, of course. No Colress yet, but has the escape rope. Could play the quick ball first to thin out the deck a little bit. There we go. There's the escape rope. Now, what is the send up here from Antoine? Palkia is definitely what you want to send up, but thinking about the Luminion now. You want to send up Palkia here, but if Brian has the KO here, that could be pretty devastating. We'll see. Oh, pretty easy pick there. A little bit more difficult now. Definitely sending the Battle VIP pass to the Lost Zone. The question is, what else are you going to send there? I don't think Brian's getting a KO this turn. I don't think we're quite at 7. Maybe I'm wrong, though. We could be up to 7. Actually, I think we're getting close to 7. Lost Tina VIP pass. Okay, we're up to 5. Yeah, not getting to 7 this turn, I don't think, for Brian. Was it just attached to Tina pass from here? Ooh, no, attach a Comfy, actually. That does make more sense, right? Attach a Comfy, retreat. Now, do you hit with Cram, or do you actually just use another Comfy while you can? You do have Boss for next turn to be able to use more Comfies, but I actually think here, as Brian, you probably want to retreat to Comfy and use Comfy, actually. See what they choose, though. I think you probably want to retreat to Comfy, use Comfy, and then maybe if you hit a Scoop Up Net, then you go into the Cram. But like, damage on Palkia is just, like, not super relevant. Retreat to the Tina. Oh, has the Vacuum. Oh, that's huge. So that is 7. Then has Gate. Actually, probably has double Gate here, I think. Yeah, that's actually massive. Water Psychic, and then get Water Grass off the other gate. And no, they have attached return. They did retreat the Comfy. Yeah, I didn't see the Vacuum play at all. I don't know if I knew they had a vacuum in their hand. But yeah, now you can loss on double water KO the Palkia. And with the Palkia going down, that severely limits Antoine's possibilities of even attacking next turn, to be honest. Brian's board is a little bit awkward because of that Cram grab. Like I mentioned, I wasn't a huge fan of the Cram getting grabbed because Cram is kind of weak in this matchup. Unless you're hitting a Kyurem with it, then it becomes like pretty cool. But if this Tina goes down, Brian does not have a great response set up on board like another Tina. I think Brian does play the Thornton, so a play could be set up from the Thornton, but notice how far away that is. See if Antoine can even attack here. It's just the Luminian send up. That's not a good sign. That was a Kyurem top deck. I can't see the rest of the hand though, so I don't know what else is going on. It doesn't look like much. Uh-oh, it's a blind glaciated world. Yep, there's the whiff. You know your hand, you know the hand is not good when they're doing blind glaciated worlds. That's something you know for sure. Is it just attached to Kyurem and pass? It is. Okay, back over to Brian. Only needs an energy to be able to attack this turn. Has the Ordinary Rod in hand, I believe. Checking the discard pile to see if it's relevant to use right now. Don't think so. So Greninja's going to happen. Might use it after the Greninja here, just to recover energy. There's a Colress. Switching net looking good. Recycler's looking good. Might not need that Recycler, though. Recycler and Quick Ball maybe can leave here. More switch options for Comfy is great. Yeah, you have the Rod. So the Recycler. You have the Rod and you only have 2 energy in your discard pile right now. So the Recycler seems like it might not get any value anymore this game. It could, though, I guess. Forward Recycler net. Opts for the switch over it. Seems fine. It allows you to move your Comfies, but also allows you to move other stuff as well. They're thinking about playing the Rod right now. It looks like they're going to have to use Star Requiem here to KO the Luminian. Which is fine because you can't Star Requiem the Kyurem anyways at this point. And yeah, not even going to play the Ordinary Rod, just Star Requiem knockout. All right, Antoine needs a lot for this Kyurem to actually KO this Tina. And even if they do, they're still in a pretty tough spot. Let's get start with this top deck here. It's a Training Court, which is not good. And even if Antoine hits an energy off of the Glaciated World, you still don't actually get the KO. You're only doing 270, so you still need a Choice Belt, but no, it's a Palkia. And I think this one is just about over because I think Brian has Boss Energy in hand. Oh, had the Choice Belt, actually. So if they had hit the energy off the Glaciated World, they could have KO'd the Tina. Still wouldn't have been in a great spot. But yeah, Boss, the Penguin, and knock it out. So pretty poor draw there, unfortunately, for Antoine. A lot of it, I think, comes to the Greninja being prized. Made Antoine go down that like funky route where they went with the... they had that funky route where they went with the Empoleon, the aggressive Empoleon, which made things like weird. Like it just like it wasn't a very strong play, but it was probably Antoine's best play. And then it led like if they had the Greninja in the prize out of the prize cards, I'm sure they would have gone with like Greninja plus VIP pass. I think they had Bucket in the hand as well, so then you would have had a way better start there from Antoine. But pretty lackluster start in that game 3, and actually didn't even attack once.